First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Waharakah Kadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And this cat, Vocab Malone, he's still doing his thing, which he's supposed to, but he's not doing anything prolific or anything new. Esau's been lying from the very beginning, and he's just seeking to put us back in that box, but it ain't gonna happen. The Lord's light has risen upon us, and we know the truth, and the truth shall set us free. It's as simple as that. Vocab, you were defeated a long time ago. You just don't know it yet. You like what's that movie, man? They had that DC Comics anime with the Flash, or Reverse Flash or whatever, where he got shot in the head, and the bullet was halfway through his brain, and he managed to keep himself alive, but eventually he died, innit? And that's you, man. The bullet's already lodged in your head. You just don't know it yet. You know what I'm saying? But he's going around and trying to cast doubt as to whether we are the Israelites, which we have no doubt. And it's funny because, like I said, these so-called Jews, they're not concerned in finding the Israelites. In fact, his whole doctrine is that Israel don't matter anyway, because his thing is that the church has replaced the nation of Israel, which is folly, because the word church shouldn't even be in the Bible. Alright, the word church shouldn't even be in the Bible. Alright, the scriptures speak about the congregation, and it speaks about the ecclesia, which is the called out, and the congregation is Israel. Alright, the called out, the called of the Lord are Israelites. Okay, but in his mind, the church is representative of all nations. That's foolishness. Alright, but that's his thing that he wants to push, because that keeps us away from the truth of our identity and our inheritance, if we believe according to him. Now, if we go into Deuteronomy 28, it clearly tells you that you would be able to identify the Israelites based upon the curses. But Vocab Malone don't want to deal with that. Yeah, Deuteronomy 20 and 45. This is the Lord word that he gave unto the Israelites by way of Moses. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hast hearkened not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. You see, Vocab wants you to believe that the reason why you are in the condition, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are in the condition that you're in today, is because you're black, you're a nobody, and he is superior. When the truth of the matter is that Esau has the supremacy over us, but he's not superior. Okay? When you go into the scriptures, we are superior. But because of, our lack of obedience towards the Heavenly Father, the Lord put this base man up above us. Okay? But Vocab don't want you to understand that. Alright? Vocab Malone and Christianity is deeply rooted in the philosophy of so-called white supremacy. That's the status quo. It supports it. It supports his superiority complex. That's why we are, oh no, you can't have your own breakdowns. You can't interpret the Bible. Luther and all these Edomites, they can interpret the Bible. He can interpret the Bible, but we can't. We cannot be an authority on anything, and everything needs to be authorized through him and his people. That's the spirit they're coming in. Oh, you can't have no faith, or any faith you have is invalid. Nah, blood, suck up, man. That's what I was going to say to you, but we don't read it. Everything you say is invalid. All right, and that's the bottom line, devil. All right, you don't know the scriptures anyway, and we ain't trying to teach you. says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Now, if we look up some of these words, it says for a sign. So you can tell who the Israelites are today because it's a sign upon them. Oh, goodness gracious, one more time. Go back. Sign, signal, a distinguishing mark. So these curses would be upon our people as a distinguishing mark. And you can quite clearly see, even in America, the curses upon the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. You can clearly see it. You can clearly see all the curses written in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. In fact, how did they get over to America? By way of ships, Deuteronomy 28 and 68. But you know, he don't want to deal with that. All right. Now it says, for a wonder upon thy seed forever, meaning these curses would be generational. It would be something that we are born into. And can you not see that with the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American Indian? You can evidently see that generation after generation we bear the curses. And we can evidently see that the so-called Jew doesn't bear these curses. No. It's too dangerous. They own the banks. They're the number one lobby in American society. The list goes on. All right, they don't have the same problems we do, generation after generation, because they're not the Israelites. Vocab alone, do the curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter from 15 to 68, are they a distinguishing mark upon the so-called Jew? That's my question to you. Because if those people are the Israelites, then those curses should be evident upon them. It should be evident that the stranger shall come up more above them, and they shall be below the stranger. Is that the case? Because I could tell you, when you come here to London, the Jewish neighborhoods are rich neighborhoods. I could tell you who lives in the poor neighborhoods. I could tell you who lives in the bad areas, and it's not the so-called Jew. And I can say the same thing in France. And I can say the same thing in New York, in America. I can say the same thing everywhere. They don't live in the worst places. They live in the best. Do you know why? Because they're not Israelites. They're not of the seed of Israel. Therefore, these curses are not upon them in these last days. But you don't ever want to deal with that. All right? Because you're not genuine, man. You're not real. You ignore and try and push your narrative. But it's not a new narrative. It's an old narrative. And we ain't trying to hear it, man. Okay? You were defeated a long time ago, mate. So if that, I'm going to say shalom.